And after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. And Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you and one for Moses and one for Elijah." For he did not know what to say, for they were terrified. And a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." And suddenly looking around, they no longer saw anything with them but Jesus only. This passage is famously known as the Transfiguration passage, of which to some may seem oddly placed. However, this passage does have a lot to show of who Jesus is. First, Jesus is transfigured or changed in appearance to having radiant and intensely white clothing. This is one of the ways in which God would be described in throne room scenes with the prophets. However, it is the next sentence that really hammers this idea out further. 2 figures appear, and they are Elijah and Moses. What is interesting about this is that in verse 2 it states that they were high on a mountain. When looking at the lives of Moses and Elijah, when they were high up on a mountain, it was because they were meeting with God. Moses did this at the burning bush, the 10 Commandments, and much of his time in the Torah when talking with God. Elijah was no different. In 1 Kings 19, Elijah climbed a mountain to receive a revelation from God. These were not their only conversations, but they are the ones who are mentioned as ones who climbed the mountain to talk to God, and here they both are talking with Jesus. One could argue that Jesus is just following suit as a prophet, of which he was a prophet. But the important detail is who the 2 figures were talking to. They were talking to Jesus. This seems to be Mark outlining another piece of the divinity of Jesus as they stood on the mountain. It does not end there. A cloud then overshadows them, and a voice comes from the cloud, stating that Jesus is the beloved Son and they ought to listen to him. This would be the voice of God the Father stating that this is his Son. It is a powerful passage of the Father claiming Jesus as his Son, while the Son is also being talked to by the other prophets who only climbed mountains to talk to God. It is a powerful image of the 2 persons of the Trinity on the mountain. What is amazing about this is that this was not just an isolated incident. 3 of the apostles were there with them, James, Peter, and John. They were terrified and in awe of the very thing that they just saw and heard, which was Jesus transfigured, talking to Elijah and Moses, being claimed as the Son of God.